tough conditions on the left side. Walter Ray, when he puts his arms behind his back, it means he got it in, and he's 7'10". Wow, Walter Ray just took out the ball.
It's a thing of beauty. He was stunned by it. He couldn't believe that his bowling ball that should be hooking back towards the 9-pin was thrown so direct and straight. Bowlers over 700 for the first 3 games. But a lot of bowlers here in the 690s, 680s. Bob Learn Jr. 691, Norm Bugh 689, Sean Maldonado 6. Tell that to Rhino Page.
He's about it, right? I mean, nobody else is even close left-handed.
The next lefty after Rhino
well.
Page.
It's all given to them.
Are you implying,
fellow lefties?
Are you implying, Jeff, that the other lefties are not?
And
hey, if you're going to leave your bowling bag in the booth, Phil's going through it.
And a Cobalt Revolt. So he's got a couple of old school pieces and a couple new school pieces. We're getting pushed all the way down lane with those urethane bowling balls. And if we may see some pins later on.
50s, he didn't want any distractions, obviously, as he needs this strike.
Is that a fine or a warning or anything when players do that?
It was loud enough that I noticed tournament staff immediately be alert.
Well, late news into the flow bowling booth. Anop qualifying PBA Tournament of Champions. Flow bowling. To get to the top 24. Get you a 10-game scoring update as it comes in. Meanwhile, enjoy Marshall Kent, Don Barrett, Anthony Pepe, and Chris Barnes early on here in the flow zone. We'll keep you updated with other action going around the bowling center. So again, 5 pairs of coverage you can choose outside of flow zone, but my favorite thing to do, I know it's a lot of flow zoning. Down on the high end. Danny Wiseman on the front 7 on 27 and 28. So a couple players still pursuing perfection, still. Shoot 300 in the championship match here at the Tournament of Champions this week. This is the first event where Fox and the PBA will pay out $1 million for a perfect game. With the front 7 as he leaves a solid 9-pin in the 8th frame. So no one remaining chasing 300 here in game 5 after having 2 300s in game 4.
Anthony Simonson in the third frame with Anthony Lacaze, Tom Doherty. Lacaze with a strike.
Attention inside the top 10 all day long. Van Hees a triple. But it's going to be offset now by an open in the first frame, and Van Hees is going to have to shoot at a 210. And P. Weber getting the crowd, but they're quiet butts in the bleachers up till this point this evening.
They've been trained, Phil, by bowling. You're not supposed to react. We have former champion of this event, youngest player to ever win this event. And the strike in the 8th for, yes.
Since the Beasley Ascona Boer Sterner pair just finished game 5. It'll be a few minutes before we get that scoring update.
And off the 2-8-10 in his previous frame. And this time gets the 2 and the 8 and the 10 and the other 7 pins. Long way to go for Lacaze if he is to make the cut. Belmonte, number 1, continues to lead this tournament.
Yeah, the PTQ coverage here in 11-12 was all Asku Palermo, Steve Pavlenko Jr. Pavlenko Jr. coming out of the PTQ. Mike. PTQ was held on Monday. Pavlenko, we already saw Darren Tang on our opening shot on the pair next door. Sean Maldonado led that qualifier, led it handily. He's trying to throw a bit of a backup at that 7-pin. You see the many angles that are in play early as EJ. Carmen Salvino, the ageless, timeless bowling ambassador.
Yeah.
Bowling with Ronnie Russell.
He's the one who won this last year. Yeah, when Danny and I came to see the TV. When we watched the TV, that's the guy that won.
Billy Gombiewski. And Carmen Salvino. Carmen finishing 3rd in that event. Joe Joseph taking home that inaugural. And I guarantee you, stamina not an issue for Carmen Salvino. He's a man that still goes out and practices several days a week. See how Learn progresses as that goes along.
Yeah, Bob learned down on 33. And I don't think we have a camera
We're
down
seeing
there.
a lot of 210 combos, or we're seeing a lot of balls go through the face.
Yeah, it seems like you're penalized greatly for mistakes. So some of these older guys, if they're going to make a run, Bob, 42nd place is -4, but he's going to make up a lot of ground this game. And he's at -4, but he's only about 40 pins out of the number right now.
Chris Prather's made a show, not advancing out of the PTQ. Brad Miller made a show, didn't make it out of the PTQ. Connecticut, Boston areas have been doing so well that he kind of knew he had to refocus his career and needs to be a little bit more at home with the family. So Van Hees frames for our leader. Probably helps keep the mood a little light, the nerves down a little bit for both O'Neill and Belmonte. Rash, sure that struck. You see his reaction there. Go ahead. And Patrick Dombrowski. Dombrowski made it through the PTQ. We've seen Patrick on TV last year, as Hardwick was the top seed and took out Tita Semez in the championship match. So Stu looking to turn it back around. We see Van Hees. Once again, we mentioned about how another changing career path this event are going to be, and next week in Columbus for those two majors to make it into the top 24 overall. But not a quality start for Buttroff to this point. Buttroff +8 through his first 4 games. Let's get you that. Other players of importance, Ryan Page in a tie for 10th with Schaefer at +102. Pete Weber at +77, so he saved it after a strong start and then sudden fall off. Way too early to really count anybody out of this event yet, except for maybe. This does seem like one of the longer game 5s we've done here in 2019 so far.
As Carmen Salvino closes with a strike in game 5. 1 to play for Salvino. Final game of round 1, full field qualifying getting underway. Advance into match play. Round robin match play starting tomorrow night at 6 and concluding Friday. In 2011, Koivuniemi won the $250,000 with the win over Smallwood, who won 6 figures for second place. Not.
And it has its scoring error. I don't think Marshall Kent had 76 in the 5th game, so we'll notify the tournament office of that. Back last November. So waiting to see if see his name on the entry list for any of the early eligible for the Tournament of Champions. Matt Sanders, of course, winner of the Rookie of the Year in 2017, was TOC eligible last year. Frankie Lavoie on the 50 Tour. Tour title as a member, and of course his best finish on the Go Bowling PBA Tour was last year in Delaware. Is already on their way out of the bowling center. Rounds done. Pairs still in their 5th, 6th, 7th frame, like with Beasley here. Beasley trying to salvage a few high school aged individuals throughout the bowling center here inside of AMF Riviera Lanes, cheering on their favorite PBA Tour players.
You know, the lefties, you know, have their work cut out for them, but Rhino has proven to you that if you bowl good, you can hang right in there. He's got to be. I think he's got to be in the top 20 or top 15.
Yeah, he's 15th. He'll be at 177 in the 8th, maximum of 227, and he'll need that to stay ahead of both Doherty and Page. We'll see. It's Let's get you your 2-game scoring totals. Get your results through the results tab at flowbowling.com. Andrew Anderson, your leader.